Welcome to another episode of the Quilty Friends podcast with your host, Johnny Barfus. Today my guests are Lacie Messerly and Ashelyn Downs of the Grateful Threads podcast. And here's Johnny. All right, welcome to another episode of the Quilty Friends podcast. Well, this is take two because the microphone wasn't working earlier, so we've done this before, but not very much. So I am super happy to have these two in my studio today. Lacie Messerly of Messy Quilts and Ashelyn Downs of
Urban Dwell Studio.
They are both the cutest, first of all.
Thanks, Johnny.
And they also have a podcast. They just started a podcast. We started about the same time. So it's called
The Grateful Thread Podcast.
The Grateful Thread Podcast. Yep. And I love that you have the logo right there tattooed on you.
This came first.
Yeah. Oh,
we stole the logo.
Oh, you stole the logo from your arm. Okay. So I was just telling her that I wanted to start a podcast at the same time, and I was thinking of asking her to be my co-host or something. And she goes, "Oh, we're starting a podcast." I'm like, I'm so happy they have though, because it's doing really well, right?
Yeah, it's good.
Are you having so much fun?
It's so much fun.
It is. It's a lot of work. I think we've talked about that a lot. It seems like we have this really cool, successful thing, but it's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that.
Yeah. And you guys are doing a lot more behind the scenes things than I am, I think. Yet. But I'm still working on it.
Yeah. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Right.
How much work do you want to do?
So I chose YouTube because I could figure out how to do it quickly.
Right.
But I haven't quite navigated the other channels of where other people listen to podcasts. Excuse me. First, my throat is dry, and now I'm belching. So it's fine. It's fine, you guys. It's fine.
Chic.
Okay. So first, tell us who we're gonna start with. Ashelyn.
Yeah.
Okay, Ashelyn. Tell us all about you.
I am a chick in my late 20s. I'm about to turn 30.
You are almost days away from turning 30.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
April 27th.
Okay, about a month.
Yeah, a few weeks. I have 5 kids.
5 kids.
I have 5 kids.
I don't think I knew that or remembered.
Well, surprise! These bags under my eyes.
Yeah.
5 children.
She married my brother.
Married her brother. That's how.
My only sibling.
Yeah.
So your sisters-in-law.
Sisters-in-law.
That's how you say it, right?
I think so, yeah.
Sisters-in-law versus sister-in-laws.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What else do you want to know?
Quilting story.
Quilting?
Yeah.
I started quilting not quite a year ago.
Right. Bonkers.
And literally exploded on the scene.
Literally
what I'm going to say for her.
Exploded.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like a lot of people come into quilting and they don't really know how to sew very well.
Right.
But I had that. I had done garment sewing and lots of bag sewing, and I had another sewing business or two. couple of sewing businesses.
I bought my fanny pack from you.
Oh, that's right.
And I can't find it.
Oh,
you lost it. Well, I don't have any more, so.
I know. I'm sad about it.
I'm actually making a couple soon to get.
You are?
So
if
you want one,
could I slip you a quilt or something, or a quilt or two to make one out of? Okay.
I was just going to make little panels for it.
Oh, okay.
So unless you have something that you want.
I have a few quilts.
Okay.
Or a lot. It's bad.
You've been on a vintage quilt.
Bender
lately. Let's call it a bender. That's a good word.
Well, I just say the last year of my life, the last 6 months, I was so stressed out. I was traveling all over. I was under so much stress. And so that's how I dealt with it, was by buying things off the internet. Isn't that super healthy?
Yeah. Therapy. How you feeling?
It'd be okay if I would have saved some money for maybe living or bills or savings if you're going to quit your job. But it's fine. I'm fine.
We're okay.
Johnny's just
There's food on the table. There's a million quilts, and I haven't quite figured out what to do with them yet, but I'm working on it. The jackets, though, I'm loving it.
Oh, you're incredible.
So fun.
With jackets.
I'm getting there. Thank you, though.
They're really great.
All right, so she made fanny packs, bags, the coolest things out of vintage quilts. So, and you're gonna make a couple more.
And I'll make a couple more.
All right.
I'll make you one.
Okay, I'll pay you. Okay. Lacie, tell us about you.
Messy quilts. I started quilting 10 years ago, and I didn't really have a path. It was just out of hobby, figuring out techniques, and I only recently landed into making t-shirt quilts.
Oh, yeah.
So I really love it. Some
You
people
do?
don't. I really love it.
That's good.
So some
Your
people hate
face.
it. I know.
You do?
I know. A lot of people just don't like it, but
Well,
I really like it.
I want to like it.
Mm-hmm.
How's that? But I just
Yeah.
there's something about making something for someone else.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I have a hard time doing it.
Uh-huh.
So now my philosophy is, if you want to make something, I don't want to make it for you, but I'll make it with you.
Oh, I like
So
that.
if you come over, hang out with me. So I have the TV, I have the chair. If you come over, hang out with me, I will. We'll make whatever you want. So
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good.
So I have some guys coming over. They're learning to quilt. That want to learn to quilt. They're coming like Monday night, and
Fun.
yeah,
That's a good idea.
it's like the gay men's sewing bee or something. I haven't quite figured out what we're
That's
doing.
cute.
I love it so much.
So that's the goal.
Yeah.
Teaching. I love teaching though.
Yeah,
It's
we
so fun.
just started. We have our first classes in a couple
Oh,
weeks. So I think
yes,
I'm going
I
to really love the
saw
teaching side
that.
too. Yeah.
So tell us what you're teaching. And
I
where.
am teaching the easy piecing grid.
Oh yeah.
And paper piecing at Quilter's Crossing in American Fork.
Quilter's Crossing, American Fork, Utah.
Yep.
And are you teaching with her or teaching your own thing?
No,
I'm teaching my own thing.
Oh.
I'm teaching improv quilting. We're doing a pillow, and then there's a quilt class. And I'm also teaching my pattern, the overpass.
Oh yeah.
And there's another one this summer, but I don't think it's actually on the schedule yet.
And is that at that shop in Ogden or
Yeah.
online?
The Quilted Beehive.
The Quilted Beehive in Ogden, the mouth of the canyon, formerly
My Heritage Quilt.
Yes,
or
it's at
my
Rainbow
Heritage
Gardens.
Mhm.
So everybody knows where Rainbow Gardens is, I think.
Right.
So
I love
that's
that
so
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shop too. She's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
I need to go back. Okay.
Yeah, like come to Quilt Guild or something.
Yeah.
I haven't felt
I
good.
miss you. Miss seeing you. I'm glad we're here.
I'm glad you're here too. Okay, how do we know each other? So we met first
Mhm.
just online, right?
Mm-hmm. A couple times too. Just like through
Like at Quilt Guild,
guild, and then
you guys.
at shows, because you were working at a
Oh yeah, yeah,
retail
yeah.
shop that sold things,
Yes,
and you would go
yes,
to
yes. At the shows.
the
yes.
shows, and so how can you not know Johnny Barfus?
I mean, you have to know Johnny Barton.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and so-
Sometimes I wonder, but I'm just bad sometimes at remembering like where I knew people.
absolutely, it's a
You know
lot.
what I mean? And like,
But
especially with social media,
Uh-huh.
like Instagram, people have their handle,
You
which
don't-
is not the same as
yes,
their name,
right?
and then you can't click on a picture of their profile picture to
Right,
make it
they're like,
bigger to see who they look
It
like.
should
Right.
just be a requirement that like you have to have a pinned post that's like a picture of
Oh,
you.
That's a good
there
idea.
you go. A requirement. Okay, you guys, that's a new requirement
For
on
your
Instagram. Please go and pin a selfie at the top so we know who you are.
Yeah.
Because you meet people like a
Oh, even
like
QuiltCon.
QuiltCon. You
Yeah.
know, people come to you. Oh, hi.
And you're like,
I'm
And
sorry.
you like try to look at their name tag. You're like, I've never seen your
Yes.
face before.
But
Right.
we've had a
guys."
conversation on Instagram.
Right.
Mhm.
Or not. You know,
Yeah.
people just know who I am. I don't know who they are. Or,
think
I mean,
that's part of it.
did I tell you my story or about the quilting celebrity that I didn't know enough about?
No.
No.
Please
Oh,
tell
we
us.
won't. Oh.
Please
Off air.
do it.
No, we'll just do it really quick. So at QuiltCon, I hadn't met this person before, and they're
This
designer. Yeah, they're a designer of things. And so, and I had a sort of a personal connection. So I went and wanted to talk to him a little bit. And then I said, oh, I'm doing a podcast. Would you think of being a guest? And she's like, oh, maybe. And I said, okay, are you still designing fabric? And she goes, oh, go and do your homework. And then she kind of slammed my thing down. And then every time I saw her after that, or them, I'm not saying it's a female. Every time I saw them after, they kind of ignored me or avoided me. It was really
no.
funny.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Mhm.
and I just always think of like X96, and the guy goes, don't you know who I am? Right?
Yep.
So that's how I felt. Don't you know who I am? Well, I guess not. Didn't do my homework. So
Yeah, there's some. I feel like the celebrities range, and there's like not a lot of like normal people in the middle. There's like ungodly nice people. That are like,
right.
how are you this nice? And then there's the like
Other side.
people that just think they're the hottest.
Well,
You
we
meet in
only
real
talk
life.
about the nice people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You meet him in real life, and you're like,
Yeah, there is this thing that someone said about meeting your idols. It's like you should never really meet your idols.
Yeah.
That's kind of, that person was
Can't
not
flip
an
it.
idol for me, but then it was like, yeah, I don't need to
Kinda-
meet that
Oh.
type of person again.
Uh-huh.
So it's fine. Bless your heart. And I mean that in a southern way.
Yeah.
Bless your heart. Okay. So we actually, then we met a few times. Well, anyway, then we had
Passing
Johnny and Lacey's Day of Fun.
We did. Day of Fun. We were supposed to go to lunch.
Because I
was coming to get your t-shirts to make quilts.
Oh, yeah. She made t-shirt quilts for me because she likes t-shirt quilts. I didn't want to finish the t-shirt quilts that I had in my possession. And it turned out to be like we went to
It was a therapy day, too. We like unpacked a lot of stuff, too.
I like to unpack things. I got a lot going on.
Yeah.
That's why this is all about the mental health right here, because I got a lot going on up here. Is it hot in here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of sweaty.
I can open this window.
Okay, I'm going to open a window really quick. Don't mind me. Oh, it's a poopy.
Sweet.
Maybe I should open the door. Okay, sorry. Pause. Excuse my backside, all the things. So there's no
welcome
heat
to
that goes
the
into this
unedited
room.
episode of the Quilter
I know, you're
podcast.
like-
This is what it makes it look real.
These guys are like, do you edit? I'm like, nah.
Nah, it's
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's fine. I sleep with our editors.
Oh.
yeah, you did.
See, if I could find an editor to sleep with, I'd be
Yeah.
fine. But I can't
I
find
know
one.
they're hard to come by.
Yeah. So if you know an editor,
That you
they're
can
mine.
see.
I can
okay.
talk to mine, but I don't think
I
I'll
don't
go
think you
for
can do
it.
So we had Johnny and Lacey's Day of Fun.
Yep.
We went to the
Vintage market.
vintage market
Mm-hmm.
and then bought some
Some
silly
banners
things,
and stickers.
stickers.
And
And
then
then we went to
we came here.
came
to have-
here
and then
and
they gave me
like
a granola bar for lunch because we're supposed to have lunch.
It was like an
I'm like,
old-fashioned.
hey,
just like,
here.
let's just
Let's
bum
just
the day around.
bum around.
Yeah,
And then we
we
went to Handy
bummed.
Quilter.
we went to Handy Quilter because I wanted you to see the quilts in the gallery. And I
Mhm.
hope that you got something valuable out of that conversation.
Oh, I
with
did.
Kim.
a
Okay,
lot.
good.
It was
Yeah.
really great.
Okay, and then Ashelyn, we met through you, but you were a customer of the quilt store.
Yep.
So that's how we kind of connected. I feel like.
Yeah, I think I had joined the guild first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then.
Oh.
Well, thank you for licking my ear. There's a dog down here.
When he's right, you can't see him. Here, hold on. Never mind. He's going down. Never
Oh,
mind. Okay, that was
you're welcome, guys.
accidental. Anyway, my little dog's right here, and he's licking Ashlyn's knee. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Okay,
It's delicious.
and then anything else about that?
Met at Salt Lake Guild.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the guild,
The
yeah,
In
guild.
real life.
in real life.
So I was like,
And then you bought a sewing machine.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
that same one.
The HD9.
Yep.
But did you get the black one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
She got the black HD9. I'm
Yeah.
so jealous
I'm
still.
jealous too.
It's so pretty. I love my machine though.
Yep.
I was sewing last night. My little blocks over there.
These
And I
ones?
decided I'm not going to really clean up too much.
No.
Because this is where I sew
You're a
as well.
starcher.
Oh, I'm a starcher.
Good job.
Well, so pull one of those out. Not that one, but like the biggest one you can find right there. Yeah, pull that one
I
out.
love it so much.
So I did these blocks like years and years ago, and they were pillows on my front porch. And then I took them off and I cut them apart to make. I'm making a quilt for my
Oh, cool.
nephew. So my niece.
You had this many pillows?
I had 4, and not all these.
Oh, the big ones.
Yeah, the big ones were
Oh.
like pillows. So half of them were like bleached, and half of them were like stretched, and so that's what I'm kind of.
Working through
I was starching them last night to kind of. I'll bring them back into shape a little bit. So.
I'm a fan of starching.
Are you a fan of starching?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Big fan.
I know. I saw someone on the IG Quilt Fest, and they're like, "No, I don't need starch or something." I was
So
like,
yeah, there was a girl on the.
Like your long armor hates you.
Yeah, there's a girl in the millennial quilt group that said something like, "Why is this not laying fine?" Everybody like, "You need to starch." She's like, I don't want to.
Start.
I don't want
you
to.
need
I
to.
don't want to.
Then don't
Okay,
come here.
well,
Then
that's
Don't,
your
yeah, don't
question.
ask your question because starch is the
Oh,
answer.
too funny. I want to talk about one thing. Well, this is a good time, Benny. You guys had a topic on your podcast, one of the first ones about the table Grinches.
Yeah,
Counter Grinches.
counter Grinches.
Cut counter Grinches.
We're getting a lot of back and forth on that one.
Yeah.
Some people
So
don't like that.
Yeah,
some
there's
people don't like that term, but
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you my story
Okay.
because we never. Oh, I could have saved it for your podcast, but you're here.
Because you have a thread in your hair.
I have a thread in my
Yeah.
hair. It's fine.
Maybe I'm a
Podcast.
little goofy.
It's fine. Thanks.
Don't move.
That's why you have nice people around and make sure you don't look goofy.
It's just YouTube.
So this is like literally probably 2000. Well, it's probably 2006. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I was making a lot of quilts. I made 18 quilts, I think, for Christmas presents that year.
Wow.
So I made 5 quilts for my nieces that were all princess pinwheels. And then I made like 12, 17. So I made like 12 Christmas quilts. So I was buying a lot of Christmas fabric.
Yeah.
And sometimes Christmas fabric can be hard to find. So I had driven all over the valley. This was like a Monday night. I had driven all over the valley. I went to one quilt shop and they didn't have one. I went to another quilt shop and they had a really good selection. Yeah. And so I had a stack of bolts on the counter.
Because you're making
Because I was
18
making a lot of quilts. And at this shop, they had a pattern for a pillowcase. So the pillowcase, the tube method, whatever.
Yep. Yeah.
This didn't have the tube method, but it had the instructions and anyway. And it was like a single sheet of paper copied off, and I had picked it up there before. And this is like before we really had the internet on our phones in our pockets, So a little bit before that. So I went to the shop and I just said, "Hey, I got a pattern here before for this pillowcase. Can I have one?" And she goes, "Well," and she just started hesitating. Yeah. And I was like, "Okay." So she goes, "Well, we usually just sell it we usually just put it with a pattern with our kits. We usually just put it in with the kits." And I was like, "Okay, well, I came here before and they had some out. They weren't with the kits. And I really I have a lot of fabric. I don't need to buy a kit."
Right. Okay. No.
I said, "Can I just get the pattern?" And she goes, "Well," and I was like, "Okay." She goes, "Well," first she goes, "If you're going to buy something," and I was like, "Whoa."
Exhibit A. Stack of bolts.
And so I have the stack of bolts. And
make this a kit for this.
And I was hangry. Yeah. I had low blood sugar. This was before the term hangry was used a lot, but I had low blood sugar. Yeah. I hadn't eaten dinner. Yeah. I lost it on her. I feel bad, but she said, "Listen to me." And I said, "No, you listen to me." And I literally was doing this. Like, I'm not joking. I feel horrible, but I was literally like this. "No, you listen to me. I was all over the valley to buying fabric." And I lost my head, the whole thing. And my friends that were with me were like, "Is he joking right now? Like, what is going on?" It was really bad. So I went and got a hamburger. Yeah. Got some blood sugar. I didn't buy any fabric.
I have a theory.
But I called her back and I said, "Hey, I apologize. That was really out of line." I said, "I really apologize." And then I called the owner of the store the next day. I called and talked to the owner. Yeah. And I said, "I manage a business. Like, I run a business. If somebody comes and wants a photocopy that costs you 5 cents, right, just do it. Like, it's not going to do, Yeah. So, and it wasn't like it was some massive intellectual property. It was one piece of paper, one-sided copy. Right. So anyway,
but you already purchased.
I feel bad that she still works there. Still see her. I hope she doesn't remember, but if she does, bless your heart.
So
what's your theory?
What you're saying is that you are the cut counter Grinch villain origin story. Like, you turned that woman into a cut counter Grinch, and she remembers you, and now this has spread worldwide, and everybody who has encountered a cut counter Grinch, it's because of you.
It's because of me. Okay. I laugh about your cut counter Grinch term because my nieces, they're about your same age. I can't remember how old you are. You're
39.
39. So they're sure your same age.
Okay.
So I have nieces that are like in their 30s, 20s, 30s, but they wouldn't go to this one shop because the cut counter people would not talk to them. And she's young. She owned a sewing school.
Wow.
My niece was like 18 and bought a sewing school from somebody else. So she had like 30 kids.
Knew what she was doing.
Yeah, she knew what she was doing. And she would go to this shop and they would just treat her like junk. And so she's like, "I won't go there." And I'm like, "Oh, come," I'm always trying to convince people, like, give them a chance, give the shop a chance. But if you treat people not kindly,
it's true.
They're not going to come back.
Nope.
So, yeah, that's our
rant
over. Okay. We just already got the questions to these two, so it's kind of late in, but what are you reading / watching / listening to right now?
Everything. I consume a lot of media.
Yes.
Podcasts, relevant ones to this
Like sewing
topic?
podcasts?
Or anything.
Okay.
What do you
yeah.
Do you want all the
Do you want like
things?
the
Oh,
quilting
just
set
one.
or just whatever?
Whatever.
Just
Just
one.
one or two.
You
That
just want one?
one or two that are on your
You
mind
know what?
right
My
now.
20 podcasts.
If
to
you
list.
want to, if you want to send
put it
me
in
a
the
list of your
description.
20 podcasts,
No, it's
it will be
okay.
in the
I don't
description.
recommend them for everybody.
Okay.
I think I really love the Inappropriate Quilters podcast.
Okay, I don't know that one.
They're fun.
Inappropriate Quilters?
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
love
in
it.
Oklahoma.
Okay.
They're two ladies. They're in the generation older than us, and it's fun to listen to them talk about how like they want our generation to love quilting and have like us wanting the same thing, but I'm like, there's so much disconnect. We need to like
Really? Yeah.
join forces.
Get them on.
Join forces.
Yeah.
I love that.
That one's great.
Okay. And you said you were watching
Yeah,
Ted
I
Lasso
watch so much
season
TV,
3.
guys. I watch a lot of TV. Ted Lasso.
Ted
new
Lasso.
season.
If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, yeah, you're surely missing out. It's on Apple Plus. You're surely missing out. It's it's just about kindness. He just is so kind.
He's kind.
That's what I love about it. It's kindness. And
Well,
giving people, I think he's really good at giving people the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
too. That's what I love as well.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway,
He's so
what about you?
I don't consume as much media.
Okay.
I like to sew in quiet.
You sew in the
I
quiet.
do.
Okay.
Because I feel like I can't concentrate on what I'm listening to and this right now.
Same. Yeah.
But my kids and I are rewatching a lot of the Disney movies right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we
Do you have
watched
Disney
Baymax.
Plus?
Uh-huh.
Baymax.
Baymax.
Baymax
Yeah,
yesterday.
I've never watched that.
Oh, one of the best Disney movies.
Okay, I'll go watch.
So,
It's
yeah,
good.
not much. I've had to take a break from like, I'm a big crime junkie.
Oh,
So I've
true
had to take a
crime.
break from that because
Yeah.
I think it's depressing now. Like I think it's bringing me down a little. So
yeah.
I'm trying to like listen to calming music right now.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna say something. Oh, while I sew, I usually listen to music,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually something like I can sing along with, like Carrie Underwood or
Yeah.
Tim, like country. Usually
saw
it's
that Shania
Tim
album
McGraw.
cover on your computer.
Oh yeah.
I
It has a lot
walked in
of
and I
stuff.
just like locked eyes with
With
Shania.
Shania. I haven't listened to Shania's new stuff. Have you?
No.
She has an interview somewhere too.
She was just on Armchair Expert.
Oh,
And it was really good.
Ooh, I should listen to that one.
I do love Armchair Expert
I do
too.
too.
I haven't listened to it for a long time. I usually listen to it while I drive.
They're long episodes,
And they are long episodes.
which I like some days, but other days it's hard to.
I know. My episodes are not that long.
Yeah.
I can barely sometimes talk. Okay, the dogs are on the move. Hopefully don't hear any barking. Okay, well thank you. I'm listening to, what am I learning? I don't know. Ted Lasso season 3. Oh, the new Miley Cyrus album.
It's good.
So good, huh?
So good.
Okay, the new Miley Cyrus album. That's what I'm listening to.
We also read too. Do you
Oh, I don't
Like, I know you know how to
read
read,
as much. I do know how to read.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's a quote from Pride and Prejudice.
Uh-huh.
I do like to read, but I haven't been reading. I like to listen to audiobooks. I can't think of the one I listen to. The one I always talk about is called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Have you listened to
Ooh.
that?
No.
Love it. So good. It's all about creativity.
Add it to the list.
Add it to the list. Okay. Let's talk about making now. So we'll start with you, Ashelyn. Do you have an earliest memory of making? Like the earliest memory you have of maybe making something with your hands?
Yes. I don't know if it was like the earliest one, but the one that stands out for me that I'm like, that should have cued everybody in that I was
Right.
just a weird creative kid. My parents were like going out for a date night or something, and they left, and I just like took the opportunity to go into my parents' bathroom and just steal all of the Q-tips. And I
Okay.
made a little house. Like it was it
That's
A
was
house?
an intense house. It was cutting.
totally Lily.
Yeah,
Like
full
anything
on
you can find in the
like,
house.
architectural masterpiece Q-tip house.
A house
amazing.
of Q-tips.
Yeah, it
That is
was-
pretty amazing.
It was like multi-level. I had a great floor plan.
Huh.
Huh.
That's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Q-tip house.
I just thought of something that I saw yesterday at a estate sale. That was one of the things I used to make when I was little. So I want to show that, see if anybody else made that. So I'll add it in a minute.
Okay.
So wait, hold on. Let's stay here for a
You're
second.
good.
So Q-tip houses.
Yep.
And then anything else after that? Like what kind
Um,
of journey Do you remember anything like significant as you're growing up? Like, did you take home ec? You said you sewed clothes.
Yeah.
Where did you learn that?
I kind of just winged it. My grandma taught me how to sew. So I hand sewed, and then in 7th grade did the home ec, and that's when I learned how to use the sewing machine. And my mom had one that I kind of hijacked.
Nice.
And I'd make stuff, and then really after I had kids is when I like really started sewing. Cool. And I made the little skirts and things for the kids and house stuff.
How many boys and girls?
I have 3 girls and 2 boys.
3 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah.
And what ages are they?
10, 8, 6, 4, and 2.
10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
Yeah.
So 5 under 10.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun when it was like 5 under. I think they were all like 6.
6, yeah,
right?
6 and under.
Oh.
Yeah, because she had just had Teddy.
No, yeah. I guess
It was like
8.
8 and under.
8 and under. Cute.
It was chaos.
And the youngest is Teddy?
Teddy?
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah. Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso.
Ted.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I like your nails too.
Oh, thanks. They are like
you guys
a hot
both
mess.
have black nails?
This is dark
Oh,
green.
dark green.
Usually,
Sorry.
yes.
Usually, yes. I tried
Usually
to
all
branch.
black nails?
branch out.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting them done on Tuesday.
It's all right. They can't see that on the camera. It's fine.
Just hold it
Okay,
down.
what about you? Do you have an earliest memory of making?
So thinking back, my family was not very supportive in creating. Like, don't make a mess in the house was my dad.
Okay.
But I do remember my earliest memory is doing cross stitch, and it was Families Are Forever because I was part of a certain religion at that time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was like, oh, she's actually creative.
Yeah.
But I can also say that it wasn't really supported in continuing to create.
Right.
I did do a little stint in my early teens of wood signs when they were really popular.
Wood signs.
And I did that from and that was before we could glue or sticker it on with the vinyl. The vinyl.
The,
so it was like
wood
hand
connection. Is that what it was?
Oh yeah, I bought Wood Connection all the time.
What's
and I
Wood Connection?
It was a place where you would buy wood. Yeah, and then you would paint it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did that from the time I was 14 all the way to 20.
Okay.
And I loved it. So it was a lot of painting.
But
then really got into quilting and sewing after I had my first baby at 30. So
your first baby at 30.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I've only been sewing and quilting for 8 years.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Almost 10. So.
It's funny you talk about the wood signs. So back in my day,
Mm-hmm.
they had the wood. Their store. It was in the bottom of the mall. And they had these wood things that were like your name cut out or mom or whatever. Yeah. And then you did these pin dots with paint. Have you ever seen that?
No.
So
like the puff paint kind of stuff?
Kind of like puff paint, but it wasn't in a tube, definitely. And my sister was really good at it. She'd made a ton of them. Yeah. My sister Susie. But it was like you do these little tiny dots to outline them in specific colors. Yeah. And so I was just thinking about that. I'm going to put this... I got to add this picture really quick because I was at this yard sale yesterday. How come that? Oh, I'm on airplane mode. Sorry.
I think too that's why I have been trying to let my kids be creative and do all the things because I was very not allowed to do that, and I wonder where I'd be now. Yeah, I'd be able to explore it a little bit more. Like when I go to college and I'm.
Do you remember these
That's
at all?
Amazing.
Ever seen this before?
My grandma used to make those.
So
I made one of those in my day.
I don't know.
Victorian.
So
yarn.
Funny. Where are we on this thing?
Yeah.
Oh, here we are. I gotta do this. We're doing this for you. We're doing this for you. Oh, perfect.
That's so great.
Okay, so yesterday I was at stopped by this estate sale and saw this thing. So it was a duster made out of yarn that you made I don't know. Anyway, you guys remember your grandma.
Make it fancy.
Yeah.
Duster, but make it sexy. I don't know. Like grandma made out of yarn, made out of the end of a stick. I don't know. So funny. So anyone that remembers these, maybe we should bring it back.
Like a yarn spinster lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Oh my gosh, for the guild.
That would be so fun.
But do it really super silly. I don't know.
Just little like drag yarn ladies. Would that be so cute?
Yes. I kind of want to do a voodoo doll.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got drag voodoo ladies.
I feel like those need some
drag
respectful
dusters.
separation.
Yes. Drag lady dusters. Drag queen dusters. There you
It
go.
is.
Okay,
That's so
we're
great.
gonna bring it back. So if you made one of those, I want to see a picture of it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So making. What about connecting to your mental health? Did you ever see a connection with that?
I can't say that I had, to be honest.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Again, because I feel like it wasn't a thing. Like I was raised to, you go to college. I got a sociology degree and figured I'd be a lawyer. Like that was it. And I didn't realize. I honestly feel like in the last couple years where I've really found my voice in t-shirt quilting and finding where I want to be. I feel like I've made for so long for what other people think I should do. That in the last couple years I've really started leaning on the mental health side of what creating is. Like,
love it.
I didn't really understand it at the beginning.
Huh.
Well, we've talked about it before. We're from a generation where I don't think creativity was labeled as being an artist.
Right.
And it was more just like a cool attribute.
Yeah.
And
Right.
being an artist was reserved for the kids that were
Artsy.
like wearing the berets and like actually doing art, and they were committed to being poor for
Right.
half of their life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was pushed on us, I think. And so
Like do this because this isn't a thing.
pursuing arts wasn't
Supported
favored. Yeah.
Favored.
So I think that was a big part of it for me, at
Mhm.
least, like, because I would look at them and be like, oh, I'm not an artist. I just
Right.
Why would you take art history? That's so dumb. And now I'm like, I wish I would
I
have.
mean, I
taken art
didn't say
history.
that. I did take art history.
No, I just because I didn't know it was a class.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I know it was my dad who was like,
Right.
"That's not a thing."
Right, like
Like
that's
he would
not
tell
gonna
me
be a
that's
lawyer.
not a thing.
Your dad? Is he a lawyer?
Oh no,
Oh.
he's very retail, works in the grocery business. Like
Oh,
you
okay.
work,
Mhm.
that's how you
Right.
work. So
That's how you work.
That's where you work.
That's interesting.
mm-hmm.
I think about, like Brene Brown talks about that, how they kind of, also in that Big Magic book, she talked about that as well. Like they herd off the wonder kids or whatever, if you're in the top whatever, then you can be an artist.
Right.
If your art, they start judging art, I think in 3rd or 4th grade, where
Wow.
they start giving you a grade on your art.
Oh,
And if you don't excel like other, like Susie
with
or
your
whatever,
peers, right?
yeah, if you're not excelling as you're with your peers, then you don't get to be an artist because you don't get to take the advanced art classes and all that stuff. So I just think it's interesting. And I think there's a lot of people that are undoing that. I like this, there's a school that's like the unschool or something, or
Unschooling.
people of unschooling.
Oh,
Have you
interesting.
heard that?
No.
Like, have you heard that
Yeah,
term?
it's like homeschooling.
Homeschooling, but like we're unschooling. We're just letting them learn.
Wow, that's cool.
Anyway, it's okay to make art.
Yeah.
And we need it.
Absolutely.
It's okay to label what you make art.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's
I love
that's something that we've talked about.
Well,
a
and I
lot in the
think
last
you,
year.
because you jumping into quilting has really pushed me to like be okay with where I'm at.
Right.
I might cry.
I know. I'm
That's
thinking
okay.
about Sakwa again.
No, it's just such a big deal.
Yeah.
What's about Sakwa?
Just so Sakwa is Studio Art
Quilting.
Quilters Association.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Association.
Association.
And associates actually. And when we saw that at the quilt show last year, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
Mhm.
And they're all calling themselves artists. Does that make me an artist?
Right.
And I was
Right.
just like, oh my gosh, I'm a fiber artist.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
And being able to label yourself.
Yes.
because you do. You make art
Right.
with fabric.
Yeah, that's how I felt a lot of times. Like when I went to school in Denver in like 12 years ago, and I went to study industrial design, but I had a teacher there who was teaching like 2D and 3D art, and I was just like in the basic art classes, but she made quilts and sold them for thousands of dollars in New York City.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a second, how do I get on this train? You know what I mean?
It seems
like,
practical.
what the heck? And she was literally just like, I wish I could remember her name too, because I didn't keep track of her, but she would just cut out images from like quilts and then glue them together, and so then she'd quilt them.
Yeah.
But they were just collages.
That's
They
incredible.
were quilt collages.
Like from vintage quilts?
No.
Or older quilts?
No.
Oh.
Like the naked men from that, the shirtless guys on the fabric. Have you seen that fabric line?
think so. What is it? Like
There's
Alexander
Michael,
Henry?
yeah, Alexander Henry. They have the shirtless cowboys,
Oh,
and
yeah,
they have the
yeah.
shirtless policeman, and they have all the lines of fabric, and they keep making over and over and over.
Yeah.
So she'd like cut out those, and then quilt them, do a collage.
That's cool.
Anyway, I was like, and you're selling this for $5,000? Like,
You're like naked men.
I know.
Art,
Seriously.
quotes,
Yes.
I'm in.
I'm in. Where do I sign up? So I haven't done that because I, of course, don't value what I do as art. Well, I don't know. I like how I want to talk to you about your process right now. Like, so you are making patterns. You're writing patterns that are. Tell us about that. Well, first talk about your patterns for a second. And sorry,
no,
is this a weird? You're thinking funny.
No, you're good.
So you're making patterns.
Okay. Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm making patterns. They're pretty beginner friendly. I don't really know why. I guess I was burnt out from my other business, and I did enjoy the pattern making aspect of it. And when I started doing quilting, people were like, how are you doing that? What pattern are you using? I'm like, none.
You're like, I just make it up.
That's the point. So I kind of married the two and wanted to do the way that my brain processes the steps to get to an end point. I feel like is different than somebody that came the traditional route for quilting.
Dogs on the move.
So I kind of have combined those, and there's lots of strip piecing that is in fact pretty easy, and I just want people to end up with a quilt that is modern and unique, and I want new beginner quilters to go, take whatever route you want, but I want somebody to look at my patterns and be able to do it versus having to go through years of heartache and potentially hating and or quitting quilting before getting to that point, like a lot of modern quilters.
Absolutely. Well, and you saw that there's a big disconnect of beginner quilting when you started.
Yep.
Right. Okay, I love that.
Because I went the other route where it's like I felt like I had 5-6 years of technique training where I had to take all of these techniques to learn the right way to quilt.
Yeah.
And when Ashlyn's like, well, wait, I do it this way. And I'm like, I would have never thought that way. Like, I wonder what I would have been doing had I not been forced to learn the right way. Because there is no right way.
That's what I love getting away from is there doesn't need to be a right way of doing things.
Absolutely. And we don't, like you said, I don't want a new quilter to hate quilting because somebody, the cut kind of grit says you did it wrong. Like, that's not a thing.
Or like
these points don't match.
Yeah, right.
Or like you have to make your first quilt has to be ugly. No, it doesn't. Your first quilt doesn't have to be ugly.
Who says that?
I don't know. Lots of people. Just
ridiculous.
A lot of beginner quilts are
right.
Ugly. Sorry.
So no, I know.
Just
they
traditionally,
don't need to be ugly.
Yeah.
So, but then the quilts that you make for yourself are so different from that.
Yeah, they're like way out of left field there. Just a lot of curved piecing, a lot of just deeper meaning, and that's where I process, and that's like what I do for my mental health.
Right.
It's not the pattern writing.
Right.
That is indeed work.
You have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I love seeing is like, I don't know. I just love seeing the stuff that you make for yourself. And sorry, dogs on the move. Yeah. I just love seeing that, like, Mr. I just love seeing that. Sorry, I keep saying that, but it's just cool to see what you're making for yourself, and it's so different what you're doing. I don't know. I just love seeing that.
I think I'm just like a kind of competitive person. So when I learned that there were quilt shows and there were competitions, it wasn't really about winning, but I immediately was like, this is how I can get better. Like, if I can get into these and I can get the jury notes and what they want for improvement, then I can improve my work in the way that, not the way that they deem respectful or respectable, but just the way that I want to grow. And that is. Sorry,
I'm just going to grab this bone that's under your chair. Maybe. I apologize, folks. The dog needs a bone. Okay, there you go, Wayne.
Lady, you're on my bone.
Okay, that was super distracting from your comment, but I want to talk more about that because when I first heard of QuiltCon, it was, I don't know, 2000. 17, I think. And this is going through a lot. Like my mom had died recently. I was homeless. I mean, all the things. Like that's when I was really at my lowest point. And so I started working on this quilt that I just like kept thinking, okay, I want this quilt to be about my journey out of that. And so that's, and then I submitted to QuiltCon and luckily got in. I think I just got in by the skin of my teeth, you know, like, was that quilt really QuiltCon worthy? I mean, obviously it was because I made it into QuiltCon. But then after that, I keep thinking there's somewhere in the back of my head that every quilt I make has to be for QuiltCon or something. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get away from that and get back to just sewing for fun and pleasure. Oh, now we're getting some.
We're just getting some like
it's fine.
Fashion.
Yeah, fashion. Beyonce our hair. So I'm trying to get past that of like every quilt I make doesn't have to be entered in the QuiltCon. Show worthy. Yeah. But I still want to make quilts that I do enter into a show. Mostly I get stuck in my head about, is this, you know, I can't force myself to finish a quilt to even take a picture of it. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I struggle so much. So that's what I'm kind of trying to get past that. But anyway, it's good though. Yeah. I like it. Do you put ender quilts? Oh, you do. You did.
I got rejected this year.
QuiltCon reject. Did you have any the year before?
No, it was my first and only quilt I've ever entered.
Only quilt. Okay. It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I learned from it. You learn what you need to, right?
You do learn what you need to. What's your reaction to the people posting their judges?
I was wondering about that.
Their judges' notes. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think it's actually a really cool thing. It's awesome for people that haven't been in a show to see.
Yeah.
However, I was kind of surprised at the feedback that came from QuiltCon. I wish it would have been a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
Do you mean like the notes from the judges?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you're talking about? Or
yeah.
About
no, exactly.
Else? Okay. And just for example, mine said, one said you could see shadowing, which we know. Yeah. And the other one, shadow? Yeah. So like when it happens like when you have white fabric and you can see the seam behind it.
Yeah.
The seam behind it.
Yeah. So like I had black inset circles.
And
the seam has to go somewhere.
Yeah. Instead of pressing to the dark, it got pressed out.
Yeah.
Yes. And then it was.
You can see it, and that's fine.
Which is funny because one of the other quilts, that's why it got an award because of the seams.
Yeah.
Right.
It's called arbitrary.
It's called seamless. Or something.
It was intentional.
Yeah, it was intentional. But
that was Bob's. That was Robert's. I think
it seems arbitrary.
Neon thread, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. It's a great quilt, but that's funny.
It seems arbitrary because you're like, that's unavoidable. But it's like, oh no, going forward, if I want to submit a white quilt, I need to use this fabric instead.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was something I knew, but had I not known it, it would have been very helpful feedback.
Right.
The other one was like it would have fared better in another category, and that's something. Both of my quilts got that feedback. And
interesting.
And I was just like, but in what category?
Tell me, right?
Because this is where I land. This is where my quilts are.
I saw that feedback a lot too.
Yeah, and the descriptions for the grouping is very hard because I didn't know where. I actually, when I saw the show, I was like, I wonder if I should have put mine in a different category.
Right.
And they're really vague descriptions, and it's like, okay, well, how about we submit it, and the people jurying it into the show, they put it where they
why didn't you tell?
Right, instead of having, because the judges and the jurors are different people.
Right.
So it's like, they're not really upset with us for putting it in this category. They're upset that the juror accepted it into this category.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and you and I, how many weeks did we have? I held off on applying for the category because I was unsure of which category. Yeah. So I was looking at the category. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait, and then we talk about it, and then I'd read it, and then I was so stressed about which category to put it in.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know,
same. It's like, well, could be this, but is it this? I don't know.
That was really hard.
I saw a lot of them, like specifically the negative space. I think this shouldn't be negative space. Well, then where should it go?
Right.
You know. So,
but that's where just put it in, and then you distribute it.
Right. That's the only thing that I could have thought where my other one would go is negative space. From standing in the negative space section, I'm like, there's no way my quilt would be accepted in this or look
or fit in
or fit here. So I don't know.
Interesting.
That was on my feedback survey for them.
But you had how many? 3?
2.
2. Then the one was the note
notebook.
paper, the
Yeah.
notebook. Talk more about that one.
So
Best quote.
that fits this podcast.
It does.
perfectly.
It really does.
When I had started quilting, I was on my first quilt, and I got wind of somebody in our circle basically just talking crap on it and like, why is she quilting?
Of a different quilt, not that quilt.
Yeah,
Right.
my first
quilt.
Okay, but
the first
somebody
quote,
like in
somebody-
a guild or something.
Yeah,
No,
sure.
yeah.
In our private life.
In our
Okay,
private life.
somebody in
yeah.
our private life
Yeah.
was like, this looks terrible.
Yeah. Well, she was talking. They were talking about it to
Yeah.
other people,
Oh,
but not to her directly.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got like,
Wind.
this
of-
person's talking shit about your quilt, like
Yeah.
kind
Uh-huh.
of thing. And I just like, I don't subscribe to that, to where I need to follow that path.
Right.
I clearly respect antique and vintage quilts and the traditionalism, and I show that in a different way. And I'm not gonna I have 5 kids. I'm not gonna go do a decade of learning how to quilt their
Right.
way just to turn around and do it the way that I want to do
Right.
it. I'm gonna learn how to do it my way. And I think they were upset with that. I think they viewed it as a
owned
shortcut,
quilting.
and
Yeah.
they owned quilting,
Oh,
and I needed to pay my dues.
Yeah.
Essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that firsthand, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen that. Well, I'm working in the quilt shops, you
Yeah.
know, you see people,
Designers and stuff.
yeah, or we'll just, other customers be like, oh, well, or even people that work there, like, oh, why are you doing that? I'm like, they're making a quilt. Like,
Yeah.
what does it matter?
Yeah.
Do whatever
Yeah, so
you
And
this
so
quilt-
many people that like apologize. Like I had this lady, she was making quilts out of her husband. Her husband was like a clothier, like he made men's suits.
Mhm.
So she had all of his scraps.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
Mhm.
the coolest quilts. But she kept apologizing for him. I'm like, I'll buy these
What?
right now. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it's the gatekeeping that bugs, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
Like why do we need gatekeepers for quilting?
Right.
We don't need gatekeepers.
It was
So to
that.
process through that.
So I
Oh yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
kind of like came up with this idea. I was like, this feels like really mean girlsy. And
Yes.
so I came up with this idea. I was like, it'd be really fun to make a crumpled paper. And I didn't want it to be like really direct so that person would feel outed and
Right.
whatever. So I ended up just putting a more generic spin on it. Like, did you see what she was wearing?
Right.
And like, for me, that's my reminder of like this situation, and not everybody's going to like what I'm doing.
Right.
But, my second quilt got into QuiltCon, so like that was the notebook paper, and
That was your second quilt ever?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
like technically like third, but as far as starting
But
last
seriously.
year, that was my second one.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was because of that hatred, I think, and
That's
so
awesome.
it's kind of just like a nice like
I know.
F you kind of thing.
Oh, we should have put a picture up. Dang it. Can I find a picture quick, or could you
Yeah.
email me one quick?
Yeah.
She's gonna email me that picture so that or you can just text it to me.
Okay.
If you want. So that we can so what you're talking about. Picture's always better, right?
Yeah, it's called Note Intercepted.
Note intercepted, like a
Two mean girls, like-
crinkled up
Uh-huh.
note from
Like the-
class.
Mm-hmm. And the girl that
And
they
I
were
just
talking
love
about.
how you did the seams or whatever that you made the crinkly. It just was really great. Well, I probably have a picture of it myself,
Do
but you probably have it faster.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Maybe
don't know
not.
if I am faster. You might be.
Pause. Tell us a story, Lacie. This is where I say, Laura, Lacie, tell us a story.
Let me think.
You were crying earlier. What did you want to cry about?
I don't want to cry.
Oh, here.
You don't want to cry?
Nope, I don't want to cry.
Tonight
Just wanna
I
email
want
it
to
straight to
cry.
Is it easier to email it straight to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Just my name, John Barfus at Gmail.
John,
Yeah, John.
how professional.
So profesh. That still makes me giggle, that ragdoll. Drag queen dusters.
Drag queen dusters.
Wouldn't that be awesome? The fun yarn we could use.
Uh-huh.
The fun costumes we could make for
Yeah.
our drag queen dusters.
Pride's coming up.
Pride's coming up. Pride in the name of love.
There it is.
We're doing this for you. It's called IMG. We're doing this for you. I've talked myself through a lot of
You
things.
gotta move it to the desktop first.
Oh, I think it was in
Downloads.
no.
223.
No.
I don't even know how
No.
this Mac life works.
I don't either. You move it to desktop first, right?
Oh, I guess. Oh, it's right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're saying. The 20223. Yeah, sorry. How about that one?
Yep, there it is.
There you go.
There we
All
go.
right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, boom.
There it is.
So
I will say my claim to fame is that's my handwriting.
That's her handwriting. I said, hey, will you write this? And she was like, why?
okay, so did you write that on the quilt? Or
She asked
took a
me to write it because
picture.
you didn't want your handwriting, right?
Yeah, I mean, not because I didn't
No.
want my handwriting, just
Right.
because I felt like your handwriting
Something
looks
different.
a lot more girly than mine. Mine looks like I'm a
like Mean
doctor.
Girls-y?
I have doctor handwriting.
And so how did you do these lines? Are those seams?
So I pieced the stripes,
Uh-huh.
and then I went in and just like added. It's essentially like darting.
Okay,
like,
that's
pinched,
what. Yeah.
and like throughout, I had a crumpled paper
Uh-huh.
that I kind of referenced for it and
Uh-huh.
kind of just recreated those lines. And then I smoothed it out and did the top quilting to add more
And then
texture.
how'd you do the letters?
Embroidered.
Oh yeah, those are like hand embroidered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wrote it, and
so
then I like
neat.
wrote it onto that.
That's awesome. So cool.
So cool.
Way to turn an unpleasant situation into art.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to.
Hey, this.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay. Anything else about mental health? Or have we talked about that enough?
I think we like kind of skirted it. We were like, no, let's not talk about it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I think this is just doing something every day. For me, that's what I need. Not every day, but as much as I can,
Mhm.
like just trying. If I can at least sit on my sewing machine for 5 minutes or something,
Mhm.
I feel like that just really helps me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
What about for you?
yeah.
For me?
Yeah. Anything you want to share?
No. I
Okay.
can't think of anything off the top of my head.
All right.
No, I think I have realized though, like I said, the first couple years it wasn't about that. It was just about doing something because I
Yeah.
was bored, I had kids.
Right.
But I think in the last couple years it's been more therapeutic.
Oh gosh.
But
Excuse the barks.
so yeah,
All right.
I don't have anything as cool.
That's all right. It's fine.
Because
You're
I'm not
cool.
making
You're just
anything-
as cool.
I'm not making anything for myself right now.
Oh.
You know. So
I
I'm-
feel like
I'm
that's a
working.
big part of your journey, though, is like
Yeah.
you
'Cause that was
just
what I
made
did.
your first quilt for you last year.
Right. Like barely last year.
What was that one?
The optical one that got
Oh yeah.
rejected.
Such a mean word.
that did not get into QuiltCon.
Did you put the hashtag QuiltCon reject on it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see it on her Instagram.
And it's on my Instagram.
at Messy
so-
Quilts.
Oh,
Oh,
my
way to
jour-
put that up.
My journey is a little weird. I don't know. It's not as I don't know. I feel like it's a lot slower.
But kind of same. Like, I'm a quilter, and then you're like, am I an artist? I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're an
Right.
artist.
Right.
Yeah, it's okay to be bold.
Yeah.
I should have put that up earlier. We'll leave
That's
this up
okay.
here for
Nah,
a
we'll do
second.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
you want me to send it?
What's that? Your quilt?
Me crying or
Oh, not you crying.
this one?
Oh yeah, send that. Oh, that's so cool.
Not that.
Why?
John Barfus, right?
Yeah.
At Gmail.
Yep.
Yeah, so and I had a hard time with the center of it for a long time, and last minute added a red dot in the center. This was a big therapeutic quote between you and I think it made me feel like I was on the map with you in a way, you know.
On the map with
No, just
me?
because like I felt like it kind of was something that like you appreciate. It was a big deal to me that you like wholeheartedly when I showed it to you.
That
You're
could
good.
cheer you on.
Yeah,
Hey,
that I felt like it brought us together.
Shepherd
So.
these dogs a little bit. I'm sorry. being barky.
Yeah, so the red center represents I called it Love Remains, and the red center
Hold
is
on. Let me get it up in the right place. Oh, what did it 6233 is what yours says.
Mm-hmm.
Download. Sorry, the dogs are being dogs right now.
6-2.
Oh, how come I can't see it? Oh, we're in downloads, right?
Mm-hmm.
Edit this part out, editor. No. Oh, for sorry. We'll do that. That'll make it easier, maybe.
Yeah.
Desktop.
There it is. Download. Oh.
We don't need to see that
The
again.
duster.
There's the drag queen duster just one more time. Okay, there we go.
That's it. Yeah. So I called it Love Remains because I feel like all of us coming out of COVID lockdowns and the chaos that like in the center of it all, there's love. Like it might be small, but it's like there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah,
Like
it's
this
kind
the black and white and
Mm-hmm.
are these all grays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
So that's it.
I don't know.
So I think that's my first like therapeutic one.
Right.
I have a couple other ideas that I want to do, but I don't know. I'm just not quite feeling it yet. You know?
Yeah, I totally do. What do you guys think about collaboration? Do you collaborate with anyone?
Each other.
Yeah.
All right.
Not really.
I mean, as far as actual quilt making,
Uh-huh.
no, I'm kind of a control freak, to be honest.
Right.
Mhm.
Working on it.
Yeah. I have one quilt client that she just sends me fabric and I make stuff for her.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You're
Yeah.
much better at that.
Just like whatever
But-
you want?
No, she has the
Oh,
pattern
she has-
and
she sends
pattern
you
and
the
fabric,
pattern and
and I just
fabric
make
and
it,
you make it.
which is really kind of fun
That is fun.
and easy because then I can just.
Huh.
T-shirt quilts are
And
kind of like the
t-shirts.
ultimate collaboration.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
really
true.
like t-shirt quilts.
You did such a good job on
I
those
think
for me.
Thank you.
Such a good job.
I think I love people loving it.
Yes.
You know, it brings me joy seeing them realize like that's their stuff or memory, like
Right.
when people pass on,
Yeah.
or is really my favorite ones.
Yeah.
So
The memory quotes are amazing.
Mhm.
That's why I'm helping my my former sister-in-law. She has all of her mom's clothes, so I'm helping her make quilts out of that.
Yeah.
So she wants to make them for her 3 kids and her her and her 3 kids. So yeah, I like memory quilts a lot
Mhm.
too. Oh, I took that picture down. Okay. I just keep thinking about things that I saw at QuiltCon. I'm like, it'd be fun to just find people to kind of collaborate with.
Mhm.
Like I like making blocks, so I'd love to like send a stack of blocks to somebody else and then
And
have
then
them
they do
make
it.
it. Well, let's
Yeah.
have them make it into a top
Yeah.
and then send it back
That'd be
out
cool.
quilt it.
Yeah.
So I gotta find people like that. But anyway, all right. What are you work? Oh wait, should we talk about self-care for a second? Do you do anything for self-care, either of you?
Quilting is my
Quilting is
self-care.
your self-care.
I stay home and not be around people.
Yeah, that's true.
Isolation.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, no, like
it's
recharging.
Hard, it's hard
It's-
to say no to
it
something
is.
that sounds really fun
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
just seem like a Debbie Downer when you're like,
Yeah.
I just need to stay home.
I'm just
But we have like a little farm at our house and chickens in our yard. Oh yeah. And we went out on Friday and
Cute little farmer.
my husband, like we're just so good and I just love our little space that we've made.
Yeah.
So
And you have 2
walks
daughters.
and
We
2
can talk about
girls.
that.
Yep, 8 and 10. So it's a good
Yeah.
life. So yeah, I think just like being home.
Mhm. That's for me too. I have to. I need more time than I allot for
Yes.
for recharging.
Right.
You know, and especially as much as I have a friend that talked about this. Like as much as we're putting ourselves out there right now, like
Yeah.
we're really exposing
Yes.
a lot about our inner
Yes.
self. We need to do a lot more. Like make sure you're recharging, all that stuff. So okay, what are you working on right now?
Podcast.
Yeah, the podcast.
The Grateful Thread podcast. I put that up there.
Yeah. It's been a really fun creative process.
Uh-huh.
Do you enjoy this?
Oh, I love
mean,
it.
I know you like it, but
Yeah, I love it. I really want to help tell people's story. That's my really biggest
That's
goal.
awesome.
Is I feel like everyone has a story. Everyone has something hard they've gone through.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to help tell that story if I can. And I have the cutest dogs that are barking now. Little shits. So like one thing that I'm kind of working on right now is I'm going to have a friend of mine who's transgender on.
Okay.
And he's like, well, she's like, I'm not a quilter. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to tell your story.
Absolutely.
Because that's such a weird, I don't know why it's being, anyway.
Yeah, I think it's important to quilters right now I don't know, not to see what side you're on, but to see like what you stand for.
Right.
And just validate that. And
I just really want to focus on that. And then I have another friend who is a female impersonator. I really want to have him on because he's just amazing. Cool. So they're both, I'm really excited. I haven't talked to him yet, but my friend.
They're like, hey, we're making yarn dusters together.
Oh.
Like live on air.
Yeah, so he is like, he's a Dolly Parton impersonator.
Oh, how
and
amazing.
He was in that movie Dumpling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, he was in that movie. And then he was also in, have you seen Joe Bell, Good Joe Bell?
No.
So there's a movie called Good Joe Bell. I was also in it.
Oh,
yeah? It's a Mark Wahlberg movie. It was filmed mostly in Salt Lake.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And they had my friend, his name's Jason. I can't think of his last name. Anyway, he does a drag show like once a month downtown. But he's a female impersonator though. So they all mimic, or I'm not going to say this wrong. I apologize, but they dress as a person and sing their songs or whatever. Yeah, so they're not like, it's not like drag. Necessarily, it's a female impersonator.
Got it.
So he does Dolly very well. So he was Dolly in that movie too. He does a really great job. So I want to have him on. Hopefully he'll be a guest. We've had not the best relationship, but that's okay. Hopefully he'll give me a chance. And then my friend, Anne, she said she would be on.
Awesome.
And that's like the only person I know really almost closely, I guess. And I don't know her very well, but I just said, hey, I really want to help you tell that story. So anyway, I'm loving that aspect of it. And I want to get to know people like you guys better. It's like, well, we have this kind of passing relationship and one day of Johnny and Lacey's day of fun.
That was a fun
but I want more of that. And I want more of this too. Because I think just the more people that, the more conversations that are had, helps us to get to know other people better, but learn other people's stories. And I just think it makes the world a better place. We're all the same. We're all human. We're all the same.
So true.
We all put our pants on one leg at a time.
Some people are weird and put their socks on first.
Everybody
That's
poops.
weird.
Yeah.
Everybody poops.
Yeah.
Like everybody. And if they don't, I mean, bless you.
You
They've
should see
got some
someone about
problems.
that. Yeah.
But we all are going through hard times. So let's make each other happier and better and not tear each other down.
Yeah. Amen.
Okay. So, what are you working on besides the podcast? Anything else? No? Podcast?
No, not nothing.
T-shirt
really.
quilts?
I'm remodeling my sewing space.
Fun.
So I unloaded all of it out and we're wallpapering the ceiling today.
You are?
Yeah, I'm so excited.
With what kind of wallpaper?
It's like this black and like flowers.
I love
and
it.
white walls.
White walls?
I need a little bit better light in there, so.
I know. My light's okay. I wish it was a little better.
Yeah.
The windows are great for during the daytime, but then I only have these 2 lamps. I don't know. It's fine for
I have a window that's half that size in my sewing, and it's the basement, so
the basement,
it's pretty dingy, and I needed it a little brighter. So.
All right. Do you know painting?
Spring.
Have you already painted? Oh, darn. I love painting.
I hate it.
I do love it. So if you guys need help painting, call me up.
Okay.
They think I'm kidding. All right. And then finally, is there a cause that you are passionate about that if everyone donated $1, that you would love it to go there? So you both said the Social Justice Sewing Academy.
Yep.
So that is the website is right there, sjsacademy.org. I'll put a link so if people will donate. Tell us more about that. I know very little about it. Tell us more about that cause.
There's a lot of different ways that you can get involved with it, and I'm probably not the best person to speak on it. The website does have it's a really good website for a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I mean, in general, it's a good website.
Right.
Shouldn't have said for a nonprofit.
It's a
No,
good. No,
it's
it's
a
good.
great
It's
website.
detailed,
Yeah. You can sign up to teach. You can sign up to like help lead
Mhm.
a collection in your area of some sort. There's just so many options and ways that you can help them.
Yeah.
Monetary is always welcome.
Yeah. Everyone at least donate $1.
Yeah. Good.
Have they been on display here? Were they?
I don't think they were
think
here.
in Utah,
Okay,
but
that's
they've been
what I
at
was.
QuiltCon.
Yeah, so I saw them at QuiltCon in
Mhm.
Pasadena. I remember.
Yep.
But just amazing, helping young
Channels,
people.
Yeah. Their current project is they're sewing blocks for victims of gun violence, and that's been really moving to see people posting on Instagram
Right.
and stuff. So
Okay,
cool.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do better, but we're all doing the best we can.
Yep.
We're all doing
There's
the best we
seasons.
can.
There's seasons.
I want a season that I do more to help that type of thing,
Mhm.
but
It'll come.
yeah, it'll come. Anyway, socialjustice.sewingacademy.org. All right. Anything else you can think of?
I don't think so.
Jinx. Okay, we're gonna have brunch now. Sorry you don't get to come to that with us. Someone was supposed to bring mimosas.
Oops.
It's fine.
I said, did we need anything?
I don't want
It was
to.
like just the thing that you
Just
signed
the
up for.
just the thing you signed up for. No, it's fine. We have plenty of food. Okay, thank you guys
Thanks,
so
Johnny.
much. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Johnny Day.
I do love you.
Yeah, we'll do
Oh,
it.
I do.
Johnny Day.
I remember. I'm just gonna say one thing that Lacie said to me once,
Oh no.
and I just said, I can't remember what I said, but I said something like, "Thank you for being patient with me and my goofiness or something or whatever, my forgetfulness." And you said, "I'm here for it." So I'm like, just thank you for just accepting me as I am.
I
And
know though.
but you just
Because everybody needs to do
yeah, but I just felt really seen by you. So
that.
thank
It
you.
made me cry.
Make me
I
cry.
love you.
Adorable, adorable, adorable. Okay. If you haven't already, check out their podcast. Again, it is the Grateful Thread podcast, and they are available wherever you get your podcasts,
Mhm.
except for YouTube.
Except for
Right.
YouTube. It's not on YouTube.
Yeah.
But you're thinking about it, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
We're
Well,
talking
okay, they
about
don't
it.
know.
We'll talk about it.
All right. Okay. Wherever you get your podcasts, except for YouTube. Thank you
About a
very
blanket fort.
What's that?
We need a blanket
We
fort.
need a blanket fort.
A blanket fort?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sound quality.
Heck yeah.
Our best podcast was at QuiltCon when we were bundled next
We were
to
literally
like
laying on the floor with
next
the
to couch,
microphone.
next to the bed,
Oh.
and it was the best sound quality. So
Yeah,
blanket
I
fort.
kind of, I guess, don't worry too much about sound quality because I have dogs and
Yeah.
But people
Things
can
like
see it, so they see
Yeah.
what's happening. I think people get mad when they're like driving around.
they're driving and like,
Mhm.
why is
You have to,
there
like, turn it up and turn it down? and
why
turn it
is there
up.
a dog barking?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Or my kids running
Aren't you
upstairs.
professional sound
Yeah.
booth?
I made a sound booth for my ex-boyfriend once. I'll tell you all about it. All right.
Over brunch.
Over brunch,
Bye,
we're
friends.
having pumpkin waffles. Okay. Love you a long time. Be kind to one another.
kind.
Be kind. Be kind. We all need it.
Mhm.
It's so
Go
hard.
pay it forward, guys.
Okay, be kind and pay it forward. Okay, love you.